Right now, we're experiencing some of the worst unemployment in the history of the UK. As an unemployed person, I find this to be perhaps the worst state of affairs possible coming straight out of uni. It's hard enough to know what to do with my life, knowing that suddenly job opportunities have become more competitive than I could have imagined. A variable gauntlet of supermarkets, clothes shops, and 0 hour contracts. So, what's a young 20 something to do presented with such an issue? Grind it out and hope that you're smart, beautiful, and talented enough to get one of the few slots that open up, cry desperately in a corner and wait till someone has pity enough on you to offer you a position in their company? Or break from this hellish reality entirely and become a Bigfoot adjacent cryptid in the hills of Scotland, hoping that a foolish enough reporter will stumble across you living in a dirt pile and pay you to publish the story at the risk of his or her own life. Evidently, none of these are any good solutions. Simply, you have to sell yourself better than anyone else. And what does that mean, selling yourself? Just at the premise, it sounds terrible. Giving over your soul to companies, offering yourself on a silver platter with all appropriate accoutrement. It's something you ought to be taught more at school when you're younger. But perhaps that's the reason it's not taught. Because one of the tenets of self-promotion is bending the truth. And I think most school teachers would like to be seen as at least moral. This is to say that razzle-dazzle doesn't go amiss in the average modern CV. Some of my favourite lies that often decorate the paragraphs of a curriculum vitae are as follows. Calling oneself a freelance consultant during a period of long-term unemployment. Claiming you have experience in a field that you have never been in. For example, claiming you've worked for a high-profile company when in fact you haven't. Giving a celebrity name as a reference. Yeah, that quote is actually from Kylie Minogue. Claiming that you did something single-handedly that would be impossible, like organising a concert or building the pyramids. And the list goes off into infinity. If there is any doubt that the average person is creative, look no further than the 20-something's CV. So what's the message here? Is there a huge problem where people really shouldn't be lying on their CVs and that's why young people struggle to get jobs? No. Evidently, successful people have lied on the paper, and probably many more times in person. It's no surprise that actors who became prolific often lie about their individual age, weight, height, and where they came from. Robert Pattinson comes to mind, in his lie about having an Oxford degree. People in high positions often get there through deception, although it does occasionally blow up in their face and they have to step down. It's only ever investigated in high-profile cases, and even then, it will be years before anything is done. So when stretching the truth, it's obvious that there can only be a stretch so far until it snaps under the pressure, and you take the full force of your lie back on your face. Saying you have 3 degrees at 22 is far too much for anyone to believe, but just saying that you have a master's instead of an undergraduate might be possible, although I wouldn't recommend it. Look, I'm not advocating you lie on your CV. There are too many examples of that going wrong. But what the hell is a person supposed to do when every company in the UK is either outsourcing work to China or automating the process to avoid having to pay people? Even worse, there are examples of companies just making their product worse because then they can cut out the human element and create bigger profit margins. What do you do in that position? When you're lied to that you have a future and companies lie to you that they have your back and other people tell you that it's not that bad and these people are unbiased. In the interest of being balanced here, I will say that I've had it a lot better than others and there is a hell of a lot a person can do just by working hard. But when discussing this issue with teachers, friends and well-meaning family, it's stunning to me the overwhelming advice is lie because everyone else is going to do it. So do it better.